urging the Chief Justice to reconsider the invitation. Stakeholders in the road sector recommend several solutions to curb alarming increase in road accidents from January to May 2021 as compared to same period last year. In business, inflation for May pegged at 7.5%, down from 8.5% recorded in April 2021. And on at this national front, South African Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize placed on special leave by President Cyril Ramaphosa pending a corruption probe over embezzlement of coronavirus funds. You're welcome. And now first in the news, severe pollution of the Butre River by Galamsey activities has left residents with a brown-colored water for their daily use, including drinking. They say they have no alternative to this contaminated river. Metro News' Henry Kwesi Bedu visited some communities along the Butre River in the western region and filed this report.
The Butre River runs through the Ahanta West municipality as well as the Mpoho and the Wasa East district in the western region. The river is the major source of water for residents of Ewusejo, Freti, Otopo and other communities close by. Residents say the water was clean and clear before the river was taken over by Galamsey activities.
Base 5 years now yeah, when Nambu and Sumu, Okonsumu, the Damanampu, or Dambu, and that is Nai, Bibasa, and Tumusunu.
Women and children in this community use the river water for all their domestic work. Despite the pollution from mining and washing in the river, residents drink this water without any treatment. Food vendors around here also source their water from the polluted river. Comfort Person, who operates a small eatery, says she has no choice than to use the contaminated water to make food for sale.
Galamsey for so what you want, I see when you are walking. Then you are what to Kakri. Yes, I near the alarm near the Atu. Near the
23-year-old Innocent Mochia is unemployed and lives with his parents here. He complains about side effects whenever he uses the water from the Butre River for bathing. He adds that he cannot afford to buy water.
Because one thing, it might be and now, so on one anum. And now, this also, a Jumani Ghana had a make a Ghana and a Jumania. You must have widen.
Residents here are pleading with authorities to clamp down Galamsey activities soon in order to save their source of water, the Butre River.
The Galamsey people have polluted the water. Because of that, you can't use it to cook and bath. Sometimes, when you bath and our self is engineer, so you want the Galamsey people to stop doing that so that you can use it to cook and bath.
Henry Kwesi Bedu, Metro News, Ewusejo.
And so we will be speaking to the director, Municipal Director of Health, Timothy Ofori, in the Western region. But for now, let's focus on other stories, as the Minority Leader, Haruna Idrisu, has addressed parliamentary press on the Chief Justice decision to refer the Member of Parliament for Bolga East and a member of the NDC legal team, Dr. Dominic Hayini, to the General Legal Council over a comment he is alleged to have made against the Supreme Court following the verdict on the disputed 2020 presidential elections. Dr. Ayine is alleged to have questioned the independence of the judiciary at a CDD Ghana roundtable discussion on the theme presidential election petitions and their impact on Africa's democracy. And so, yes, this is a story for you.
Our attempt has been drawn to an invitation originating from the Office of the Judicial Secretary requesting the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council to investigate alleged statements made by the Honorable Dominic Ayene, the NDC Member of Parliament for Bongatanga, his constituency, and Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament, and former Deputy General and Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice over some comments the Honorable Member is alleged to have made at a panel discussion hosted by a civil society group, the Center for Democratic Development, CDD, on the theme Presidential Election Petitions and their impact on Africa's democracy. We understand that the Chief Justice's petition is based, in our view, on hearsay. It states his attention has been drawn to statements allegedly made by Dr. Dominic Ayene during a panel discussion on presidential election petition and their impact on Africa's democracy. He submits a Joy FM report of the panel discussion. That's the very reason why I've described it as something based on hearsay. The chairman of the General Legal Council, who is also the chairman of the Judicial Council and head of the Judicial Service, an organ of state, in our view, has already determined that the comments are totally unacceptable and wants the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council to investigate it further. It is against this background that we in the minority find the invitation to be in utter bad faith and meant to be an attack on free speech on Parliament as an institution and also as an affront to democratic and academic freedom. This invitation must also be seen to be an attack on freedom of expression and is only deepening growing concern about the creeping culture of silence in our country, which is gradually lingering its ugly head on our democratic dispensation, and therefore a grave threat to the sustenance of democracy in our country. In our view, Dr. Ayene was speaking as Member of Parliament, Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislating Committee of Parliament, and not only as a lawyer. I emphasize, he's Member of Parliament, he's Member of Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament, and Chair of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament. He has a duty and responsibility as Member of Parliament and Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament to speak to the public on matters of public interest, as he did at the forum on the presidential election petition and its impact on Africa's democracy. Why must the tangential fact that he is a professional lawyer deprive him of his right to free speech, I ask? First, as a citizen of Ghana, secondly, as Member of Parliament, and thirdly, as Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament. Probably even if he made these comments on the floor of Parliament, he would have been covered by privilege. And therefore, it will also raise a question whether his privileges are not being disrespected if he was speaking in his capacity as Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee. The Chief Justice's position, in our view, is an infringement of Dr. Ayene's right to free speech on all scores and intended to render him ineffective as a representative of the constituency and as Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament.
Back to our earlier story, where residents living along the Butri River are drinking contaminated water as a result of galamsey. We've been joined on phone by the Director of Health at the municipal, Ahanta West Municipal Director of Health, Timothy Ofori, for more on this. Good afternoon, sir. So what are your initial reactions after seeing the disturbing footage of residents at Wazjo drinking this water?
Master, I can't just express the shock that I had on seeing this footage, especially people drinking directly from this contaminated water, even to the extent of them using it to cook, for people to go and buy sickness with their own money. It's really a disturbing situation.
What are some of the implications on these residents health-wise?
Oh, the implications are so many. I think the first one that we've all witnessed is drinking contaminated water. And we all know the effects of our drinking contaminated water. Besides that, aquatic life is also affected. People bathing in the contaminated water can also result to a series of diseases. And then also, the chemicals that people are using, especially the case of the galamsey, contain chemicals that can also lead to other cancers. When you talk about the health effects, we are talking about outbreak of cholera, we are talking of typhoid, we are looking at skin infections and rashes, we are looking at bilharzia, we are looking at pink eyes, hepatitis, and other respiratory infections.
All right, so the waterborne disease, let's talk about that. Is it on the rise at health centers in the community due to the waters they are drinking?
Please come again.
I'm asking, waterborne diseases on the rise in health centers in the community due to the water they are drinking?
Oh, okay. Fortunately, we've not recorded any outbreak of cholera yet. But for typhoid, and then we've reported other cases of bilharzia in the nearby health center.
Okay, so in the interim, as we wait for a long-lasting solution, what advice will you give to residents living along the Butri River?
Oh, okay. What we tell residents, today maybe your own activity. You think you are okay with a small amount of money that you get. Have to think about the large community. Where are they going to get water? One, potable source of water. Even what is going on now, when you listen to the other speaker, access to job is an issue. So how many can even buy the common sachet water for a family of 5? A day, a week, a month, and let's talk about a year. So let's look at this and let's try to resist from this harmful activity that is contaminating and polluting our outer body.
Let's now talk about the long-term effect residents might have as a result of this water. Tell me, what do they stand to get from drinking this water?
Already in our Hunter West, we've already experiencing the number of mental illness all over. And also, we also having some bad effects or defects on children who are being born. We don't want to say it's as a result of this contaminated water or the chemicals that they use in the activity. But we don't want this kind of long-term effect that we've mentioned. So all that we say and advise those who are defaulters of this to just desist from this act.
All right, so thank you for your time with us here on Newsbeat. And so Timothy Ofori is the Hunter West Municipal Director of Health. We'll be speaking on the back of residents who live along the Butri River who are drinking water from a Galamsey contaminated river, the Butri River. Away from that, on to other stories. More than 1,250 people in the country from January to May 2021 have been killed by road crashes. That's according to the latest statistics by the National Road Safety Authority Last year alone, 2,500 people died from road crashes, adding that the figure is the highest since 1991. Now, let's speak to a representative from the authority in the person of Pearl Dusu, who is the Public Relations Officer of the National Road Safety Authority. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to be at your studios.
Thank you.
This is my first time since you came here, and it's looking nice. I like it.
We are grateful. Now, let's talk about road crashes. What seems to be the main problem?
Indiscipline. There are two things. Indiscipline on the part of road users and on the part of policy implementers and formulators. These indisciplinary actions from both sides contribute or culminate to road crashes, increase in road crashes.
Now, from what I have here, it looks like we have more private vehicles involved in accident than commercial vehicles. What is happening?
Yeah. People think they know. And so when they are on the road, they do whatever they like. When the education is carried out for them to do A or B, they don't do it. You see them on the road doing totally a different thing on the road. But let me remind you, the road is not anybody's bona fide property. People come together to use the road, and there are rules and regulations guiding the road. And so when you get on the road and you don't abide by the road traffic regulations, there is a mistake, and the mistake is the casualties that we see on our roads.
I want us to take a look at the story from Parliament and what is the Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi is saying, so we can actually address that and continue the conversation. So, Minister of Roads and Highways Kwesi Amwakwata has assured that all major outstanding road projects will be executed once the ministry is able to push for the increase in road toll to complement government's effort in raising money for the rehabilitation of roads in the country. The minister on Tuesday answered questions on ongoing road project in some constituencies as part of government's year of road campaign.
Government, as part of its second year of roads mantra, has promised to fix major road networks which have been abandoned for years, whilst rehabilitating worn-out roads across the country. On Tuesday, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amwakwata, answered specific questions from parliamentarians on the state of major road networks within their constituencies. Among other concerns, the minister provided an update on the reconstruction of the Sokode Abutia Dwapong Trunk Road, the Bunkurugu Township roads, the Peshi Lagoon La Beach Road Bridge, and other constituency-specific road projects.
I want to find out from the minister, as he has stated, that the contractor is on site and will be directed to prioritize the construction of the bridge. If there are any timelines, or if by the end of 2021, the contractor will be on site.
Of La Tashi, Osu, and all the way to Tema, Lashibi. And if you look at the size of the bridge for now, is not helping at all. Do you have any plan to extend it properly so that when their cars are using it, they will feel comfortable? So that
indisciplined people, criminals are going round and dismembering some parts of bridges, particularly the boats and knots. I may wish to call on the security agencies and indeed all of us to be vigilant to try and see if we can deal with this problem.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu questioned why the Road Fund Board and other boards were yet to be constituted.
So all the things you said, what is it that you are doing that the institutions that are to assist you in realizing what you just read to us, particularly the road fund, is put in place? Thank you.
In response, the minister assured that the boards will soon be constituted. He further added that tolls will soon be increased to help the ministry raise enough funds for road projects.
Pretty soon, and I gave an indication which was reinforced in the budget, and everybody knows that we are going to come to Parliament even for tolls in the country to be increased, because we pay the lowest toll in West Africa, if not the world. And it will come. So I am happy, no less a person than the minority leader himself, has raised this question.
So I'm still here with the Public Relations Officer of the National Road Safety Authority, Pearl Adisu, and we want to find out what their 2020-21 road safety statistics really mean. It's a lot. And when I referred to you earlier that according to what I have with me, I was telling you that according to the statistics available to me, which you're going to see right on the screen behind me, we want to understand what exactly this statistics mean from the Road Safety Authority. So if I can have that behind me quickly. There you have it. This is the bill. It says Accra, Tema, Eastern, Central, Western Ashanti, Volta, Northern, Upper West region, Upper East region, and the rest of the regions. Take me through. What is this?
This is the provisional statistics that we have from the police MTTD for the period January to May 2021. And then we compare it, when you roll down a little, you see that it's compared to the same figures that came up 2020. Then we compare the incremental percentages. That is what it is. As you rightly said, the regions are here. And so every accident that occurred per region is what is indicated here.
For the total?
For the total. And so for the first portion, the total number of reported crash cases is what is here, which involves, which should be fatal, serious, minor, and then we put the total there. So region by region, you see Greater Accra region leading.
Yes.
And for road safety purposes, we divide Greater Accra, we separate it from Tema, both making the Greater Accra region, but we divide it from Tema, followed by Eastern. So these are the regions where high accident cases are reported as it has been given. So the Northeast region is the least of all. So when the highest is Accra, because of our population and the vehicle population rate, that is some of the reasons. So when we look at this, you see the flashpoint where accident occurs, first 5, you see it following accordingly. And so when you get to the top, it means all accident cases reported region by region. This is the total. So this is the total of all accident cases involving vehicles, motorcycle, and everything here. So now this is the division. Commercial vehicle, bus, minibus, truck, taxi. So the number of buses that were occurred, were involved in accidents, that is the minibus as it is region by region. And then we will get a total 4,147 beneath. And then we'll come to the total of vehicles. So you see commercial, this is for commercial.
Yes.
This is for private. Private cars.
And it's also divided.
And so it is divided. Minibus, which is private, a saloon car, which is private, SUV 4x4, truck, which is private, which is non-commercial.
Okay.
That is it. And then that is the total. It continues. I think you've cut it. We'll have the number.
We will project that.
Yeah.
That's on another slide. And so this is from January to May 2020.
2020 compared to this year. And so you see that when you see a figure here, positive 24, it means the number of cases reported, which is over 6,700 something, compared to last year was 5,460. So it means that there has been an increase of 24.34%. That is it.
Is that not huge?
It is, and it is unacceptable, which we are all worried about at our authority. So that is how it is.
So the highest here is the Greater Accra region.
Yeah.
And total here is 741.
Yeah.
And it follows by the Ashanti.
Yeah,
Ashanti has
Ashanti region.
487.
That is
followed
it.
by Eastern has 263.
Yeah, these are the regions that accident occurs most. And so they are regions that a lot of interventions go, so that we'll see how we'll minimize the rate of accidents from those regions. Yeah.
You mentioned that these figures are worrying. So what then can we do to curb the road carnages?
Thank you very much. We should all be concerned about the current increase of road carnages in our country, and we should all tackle it as a health safety issue, public health safety issue. It is one of the things that are killing us more in the country. And so everybody should get involved, from the road user to the duty bearers. Everybody should get involved and do their bit. At our authority, we've put up certain interventions to try to control or regulate the transport sector, so that our drivers will be very careful and be disciplined on the road. If time will allow me, I could name some of the interventions that we've currently
I'll come back to you, but quickly, let's take a look at this story from GPRTU. As the Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Abbas Ibrahim, has urged motorists to report misbehaving drivers to his outfit and the Ghana Police Service. Speaking to Metro News, Abbas Ibrahim added that motorists are responsible for the protection of their lives, thus report every misconduct or wrong driving practices to their respective authorities.
It's unfortunate. The situation is very worrying. We are not happy with the current situation, but it's all not about commercial vehicles. You see, the motorcycles has contributed a lot to the death, the number being mentioned by the police. Honestly, we are doing our best. The National Road Safety Authority has also, at one of our meetings, we agreed that there should be periodic training to remember drivers on some do's and don'ts. We strongly believe frequent training or frequent reminding of ourselves will also help in reducing the carnage on our roads. We must be honest to ourselves. Our lives, you cannot sacrifice part of your life if you're in a vehicle and you feel the way the driver is driving. Or you might be very naive about, you can be someone who has no knowledge of driving, but since you've been sitting in vehicles, you might be able to know the difference between the good and the bad driver. So if you sit in a vehicle and the driver is misbehaving, you should be able to talk to the driver in a polite way so that it might not be offended. When the driver refuses, when you get to any police post, every passenger has every right to report the conduct of the driver to that police officers, which I believe they will also take it up and make sure either they will ask you, all of you, to alight and look for a vehicle for you, or they will look for an alternative solution which will make sure you get to your destination safely.
And so that is an advice from the Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Roads Transport Union, Abbas Ibrahim. Back to you, Pale. You were about telling me interventions you've put in place from your outfit.
Yeah. There are several interventions, but because due to time constraints, let me name the flagship campaign we are doing. You know, our core mandate or our core function is to educate road users. And since last year, October, we've come up with this mass campaign called Arrive Alive, where we have about 52 topical issues on driving rules and regulation that is played on selected media houses. We go on outreach, and then we discuss things pertaining to road traffic rules and regulations. We did the first part from October to January. We'll roll the second phase of that campaign very soon. And I hope Metro will come in so that we educate drivers as to their rights and responsibility on the road. That campaign is, the objective of that campaign is to change behavioral attitudes of drivers and pedestrians, all road users on the road, so that we'll be disciplined on the road when we are driving. I heard the institutional officer of the GPRTU saying that when they drive carelessly, they should be reported. And that is what we are doing, name and shame. When you see somebody driving carelessly, we are putting up a call center at our office. We will soon roll out numbers. Call and let us process the person and prosecute them to deter others from being indisciplined on the road.
Thank you so much, and definitely Metro TV on board. And so Pearl Dusu is the Public Relations Officer of the National Road Safety Authority. You are still watching this be live on Metro TV. We'll be back from this break with more.
As a mother and wife, my priority is making sure my family is protected at all times. That is why I never forget to give my angel a Flora disposable handkerchief to keep germs and sweat at bay. When hubby is out in the fields, I'm rest assured of Flora coming in handy anytime he needs it. Even when my daughter-in-law is out late, I am confident Flora disposable handkerchief will be close enough to save the moment. Flora disposable handkerchiefs are my go-to disposable handkerchiefs any day, anytime, and everywhere. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is affordable and handy. Flora, better than cloth handkerchiefs. Flora is a product of Delta Paper Mill Limited. For inquiries and bulk purchases, call 0243 033 033.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo. Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural eggs, mineral water.
Still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo has called on Ghanaians to participate in the upcoming Green Ghana project by planting trees across the country. The project, which starts on Friday 11th June 2021, is aimed at restoring the forest cover of the country, which it says has been destroyed by illegal mining and systematic forest degradation. Let us cross over now to the Ministry of Information, where the Minister is giving more information about the project.
And the project of Greening Ghana is a very important national undertaking which seeks to restore the forest cover of our country in the short to medium term. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it will surprise all of us. It's very startling to learn that as at 1900, the forest cover of Ghana stood at 8,200,000 hectares of forest cover. This forest cover is depleted by a whooping 80%. And today, as we speak, the forest cover of our country stands at just 1,600,000 hectares of forest cover. This is, to say the least, alarming. And therefore, the time for action is now.
we've come to this point essentially through years of systematic degradation and forest degradation without the commensurate afforestation, aggressive afforestation. The experts will tell you that we have utilized our forest cover or our forest resources unsustainably. The issues of small-scale mining and depletion of our forest cover, the harvesting of our trees in a very unsustainable manner, it's brought us to this point. And it is therefore the reason why, in accordance with the vision of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Green Ghana project was launched. And the Green Ghana project essentially is a well-thought-through project which is going to, over a period of time, systematically implement policies, programs, and action plans which will result in the restoration of the forest cover of our country. That is the determination, that is the goal, that is the vision. As part of the Green Ghana project is the Green Ghana Day, which is June 11th. So the project is a bigger project. It's a bigger project which is going to take us about 4 to 5 years to implement fully. And by which time it is our belief that the forest cover of our country would have been sufficiently restored. But part of it also is a Green Ghana Day, which is going to take place on June 11th. Why Green Ghana Day? The first reason for Green Ghana Day is that we want to bring about the needed consciousness. We want to awaken.
And so we know that on the back of this, Zoomlion is also collaborating with Ministry of Sanitation to plant 5 million trees across the country. Away from that, on to other stories where the editor of the East Side newspaper, Kwesi Pratt, bemoans the growing rate of unemployment in the country. He says even after obtaining all the certificates, there is no job to come back to. He says high unemployment rate could destabilize the country. He calls on the government to do more for the citizens. He says policies and projections should be made for the long-term effect, else the country is doomed.
The biggest threats to the stability of this country is youth unemployment. And yet, I don't think that we are tackling that problem seriously. I mean, Randy is the one who has been repeating the statistics. And yesterday I was quoting Randy on a radio program, that I participated in. If you look at the numbers of people who are graduating from senior high school, who cannot do anything apart from security job. And what? I don't know what else they can do with their senior high school certificate. You must be worried. And you should know, I mean, when I was growing up, all these women in the banks who were sitting in the cages, the tellers and so on, they were middle school leavers.
Oh, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, if you found a woman who had come out of secondary school, O-level and so on.
Management.
Today, and then up to a certain point, those jobs were taken over by O-level holders, and then by six-formers. Now, the tellers in the bank, some of them have
degrees.
2 master's degrees.
Yes. My research assistant in Parliament needs a master's. Yes.
2 master's degrees. I know.
And so up next is business news, and Kenneth Jesse on standby with the latest.
Well, hello, Bright. Now, in business today, we look at the drop in inflation for the month of May. That and more are coming up shortly. Stay with us. The government's chief statistician, Professor Samuel Kobna Enim, has announced the inflation figures for the month of May to be 7.5%, which is a drop from the 8.5% figure recorded in April 2021. He made this known earlier today when he met the press.
I would want us to be circumspect once we did the rebasing from August 2019, and we did indicate during the rebasing exercise that unless you do the obvious backcasting, one has to be very careful comparing these figures prior to August 2019. Having said that, indeed, this is the lowest rate of inflation that we've recorded since the August 2019 rebasing. So definitely this is something that one would want to have a bit more conversation about that. And what I mean by a bit more conversation is that we always need to be mindful of how COVID-19's rate of inflation are impacting on the current inflations that we've been releasing, specifically from April 2021 and May 2021. It will be recalled that in March 2021, we're still recording double digits 10.3, and in February, we're still recording inflation in the double digits of 10.3. And these are comparable to the inflationary rates that we're recording during the COVID-19 era. So one of the things that we need to pay attention to, and I like the question on what is the scope. And what makes this important is, one, the dimension by which you are looking at the inflationary rate. I did emphasize that on a month-on-month basis, we continue to see inflationary rates that are pretty much higher than the pre-COVID-19 levels. Indeed, around June, July 2020, we're recording about 0.5 in that order, but we are now in May 2021 recording a month-on-month inflation of 0.8%. In April, we did record a month-on-month of 1.5%, which again was the highest from June 2020 to April 2021. So although on a year-on-year basis, we are talking about a 7.5 inflationary rate, which is the lowest since August 2019, that same story cannot be said of when you look at it on a month-on-month basis. Right.
Now, the Ghana Grid Company Limited has attributed Monday night's power outage in some parts of Greater Accra region to a shortage in gas supply. According to a statement issued by Gridco, a reported leakage by Ghana Gas on its processing plant at Akrade curtailed gas supply to a number of thermal generating plants in the country, thus causing some of its customers to sleep in darkness.
Some consumers of electricity in parts of the capital had to go through early parts of the evening without power after the light went off at about 7 p.m. on Monday. The incident came as a state of shock for many, since the Electricity Company of Ghana had not announced that their lights will be interrupted. Whilst apologizing for the inconvenience, the power transmission company stated that repair works were still ongoing to repair the unforeseen glitch. The statement concluded that Gridco wishes to assure its customers that it continues to engage all the players in the power sector value chain to ensure consistent power supply in the country.
Now let's take a look at how the cedi is performing against other major trading currencies and also the prices of some commodities on the world market. That's it for business. I'm Kenneth. Jesse Bright is standing by for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Kenneth. You're still watching this bit live on Metro TV. Very quick break. When we come back, sports with John Phil Korte will be next.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Safety.
Welcome back. Up next, we'll bring you the latest in sports. My name is Phil Jonukwati. Let's start with what happened in Rabat, Morocco. Despite losing to the Moroccans by a goal to nil, the coach of the Blasters, Sika Kron, says that yesterday's output should encourage the Blasters when they take on the Ivorians on the 12th of June at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium.
In my opinion, we didn't look bad at all. First of all, it was important for me to see how disciplined we could play, the team spirit, work ethics. You know, we should create understanding of how to play. Obviously, we played against an opponent who has been, the previous match has been very, very good, and like I said earlier on, they've not lost a match. Everything has, you know, if you look at the way we played, good. The negative part is that we lost. So there has been a lot of positives, that, you know, and of course, we have some few guys to join us. Should we get all of them and work like this, I think going forward, to be very, very hopeful. The way I want us to play, you know, previously in our matches that we played, due to many factors, we were not able to, you know, play as a team, collectively.
For the very first time in 2 decades, the Moroccans beat Ghana in an international friendly by a goal to nil. He played yesterday in Rabat. Meanwhile, players and technical staff of the Blasters have arrived in Accra this morning after losing to the Moroccans. They will be in camp very soon as they prepare to take on the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium on the 12th of June. So there you see the players over there arriving at the Kotoka International Airport after arriving from Morocco, where they were beaten by a goal to nil by the Atlas Lions of Morocco. Away from African football, let's go to English Premiership, and after a month of looking for a new coach at Monole, Wolves have appointed the former coach of Benfica, Bruno Lage, as their new manager.
First of all, I'm very happy. It's a big opportunity. I'm very happy because I returned to this country, and I returned to be the manager of a big team. And team want to do a club, want to do history, and a chance to compete in the Premier League. So happy, exciting, and with a big ambition to do great things for this club. A busy day, just to try to know everyone, to see what the club have to offer, and my first idea is to try to link everyone together, because I want to create a good dynamic of group with my staff, with all the departments the club have, try to link all together to start to build up the new cycle. I think it's a good opportunity to understand what Nuno did in these 4 years, and my ambition is to continue and to improve what he did in these 4 years.
45-year Portuguese manager now in charge of Wolves by name Bruno Lage is replacing Nuno Espirito Santos, who led the club after the Premiership. Meanwhile, in Paris, Alexander Zverev and Stefanos Tsitsipas, Greece, have all qualified for the semi-finals of the French Open. We'll bring you more details in our subsequent bullet. But for now, Harry takes over with Showbiz.
And this is entertainment news on Newsbeat. There's more after this. Actor John Dumelo has questioned why marijuana isn't legalized in Ghana.
Ghanaian actor turned politician John Dumelo has questioned why smoking of cigarettes is legal in Ghana, but smoking of marijuana is not. Reacting to a tweet by the Ghana Police Service on the arrest of suspected narcotic dealers, John Dumelo said, yet cigarettes are legal in Ghana. In Ghana, it's legal to buy and smoke cigarettes. How come it's illegal to buy and smoke marijuana? He asked. In 2014, hip life artist Kwakese was arrested by the Ghana Police Service in Kumasi for smoking cannabis in public. He was then sentenced to a day in prison and ordered to pay 1,200 Ghana cedis fine, which brought up conversations about the illegality of the usage of the natural plant. John Dumelo isn't the first celebrity to question Ghana's illegalization of marijuana. Ras Kuku, Black Rasta, Samini and other top stars have advocated for the legalization of marijuana in Ghana.
Cannabis make them loco. Well, cannabis make them loco. Cannabis make them.
More than 18,000 people have signed an online petition to have Tanzanian music star Diamond Platnumz disqualified from the BET Awards to be held on 27th June this year, where he is nominated for Best International Act category. It's rather unfortunate that no Ghanaian artist was nominated for the Best International Act. Well, that's it for entertainment news on Newsbeat. My name is Harriet Taddy. Up next is international news.
Welcome back. And on the international front, South African Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize has been placed on special leave by President Cyril Ramaphosa pending a corruption probe. Dr. Mkhize is being asked to address allegations that two of his close aides embezzled more than $6 million from public coronavirus funds using a front company that was awarded a contract to run the health ministry's COVID communications. The minister, whose handling of the pandemic has been praised, denies any wrongdoing and is seeking to state his case to the governing African National Congress, ANC. There has been public outreach that thousands of COVID-linked contracts have been awarded to politically connected companies. More than 60 government officials are already set to be prosecuted. And that's it for the news here this afternoon live from Metro TV from us through here at Rage in Accra. This is the Kuya Bohima studio. At 2 p.m., Francisca Kakra-Forsen will be having a conversation with Efia Tenge and also the conveners of Fix the Country. There's more here at 2 p.m. with there. I am Bryce and Akwesi Amenin. Have a good afternoon and enjoy the rest of our programs.